Hey, Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denicia. Let's go.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, you know when you see me here, it's always we're gonna be starting the morning with that conversation that you want to hear and asking those really hard questions. But this morning we're gonna have a really subtle conversation as we talk with the central bank. We're talking about counterfeit notes and educating the population on what they should be looking out for during this carnival season. Guys, this morning I have the privilege of sitting with me, Romola Williams, who is the senior banking analyst, as well as Michelle Melville, who's the external relations officer. Good morning, ladies, and thank you so much for joining us here on Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago Show. Now, it's really important for the population to know that you guys are having Know Your Money during this carnival season, which is really educating the population on how to have a safe carnival, securing their money, securing their investment. You see a lot of people coming out having their businesses on the side of the street, selling alcohol, selling food, selling paraphernalia, whatever it is that they could think about to sell, they're selling during this time. But these are often the people who are at the highest risk for receiving counterfeit notes because they're usually bombarded by hundreds, even thousands of participants in the carnival activities, and transactions are happening very fast. Now, tell the population exactly what is this education forum about and why they should get involved.
Okay, so thank you, and thank you for having us this morning. So this forum, this seminar is a collaborative effort between Central Bank and our banknote printers, De La Rue Currency. So we have Mr. Garrett Evans, who's here with us from the UK, and he will make the main presentation, and that presentation really centers around highlighting the security features of our banknotes to help you identify genuine notes. And some of these features include things like holograms, the raised print on the notes, infrared features, tactile features, hidden numerals, etc. And these features were only introduced, of course, with our suite of polymer notes. These features were not available for cotton banknotes. So hence the reason we felt the need to come out and educate the public on these new features. As you all know, these notes were first introduced in 2019 with the $100, and then we introduced the 5, the 10, and the $20 in November 2020. And finally, in February 2021, all the notes would change to polymer with the introduction of the new $50 polymer and the $1 polymer note. So we really want to ensure everybody is safe and they can identify the genuine banknotes for our new notes.
Excellent. And so, as I said during the introduction, usually you see a lot of smaller businesses or entrepreneurs being more susceptible to receiving counterfeit notes. Am I correct? And why is that?
So, building on, thank you again for having us. It's always a pleasure to be here in Tobago, in beautiful Tobago. Our Know Your Money campaign, it occurs annually, right? It's a project that we undertake throughout the year, but specific to the carnival season, we conduct these seminars where we go out to the public and we inform and educate on the features of the notes. We believe that this is important in light of the new polymer suite, as well as to secure persons and their right to currency, right? We try not to focus on counterfeiting, but we focus on you knowing how to identify your money. Because as the central bank, we cannot stop persons from trying to do what they think is right. We know that it's not right, but to have an educated population to being able to identify the security features, that is important to us.
Right. And when we talk about susceptibility of businesses, are smaller businesses, entrepreneurs persons who just come out and sell some stuff on the side of the road during Carnival, are they more susceptible to receiving the counterfeit notes?
Well, I would say that persons who aren't aware of how to check the notes to ensure that it's genuine, anyone is susceptible if they're not aware.
Okay.
So that is why we go out and we do it in a simple way. The seminar that we're inviting you to, we have been going through the island, Trinidad and Tobago, for the entire week. We have been to San Fernando in Trinidad. We have been to Sangre Grande. We have had sessions at the bank. Today we're in Tobago. 2 locations. We'll be in Shore Park at 10. We'll be in Charlottesville at 4, Charlottesville Library, right? The Shore Park complex. So at this session, we'll give you a brief overview of the polymer notes, the process from start to you having that note in your person. Then, by 4 simple checks, you are able to identify if the note is real or not. The first step is to feel that note. You receive a note, you're selling on the side of the street, you receive the note, make sure you know what a real note feels like. Polymer feels different to paper. It's key to know. During the process of making the note, you will, at the session, we'll go through that process with you, but you'll feel the ink, you'll feel the texture of the polymer, and that is the first check. Before you go into gadgets like a magnifying glass or you go into a UV light, you have your fingers, you feel the note, which is important to know what to feel for, and that's why we're inviting you to this session.
But I'll also like to add that it's not only small businesses who might be susceptible. So we extend the invitation to also financial institutions, any commercial institution that does a lot of cash transactions. Everybody is welcome, and we do hope, that representatives from all these institutions come out.
But doesn't the bank have counterfeit detectors for bills that they put the note through and they are able to identify the bills? When you go there, we often see that.
Yeah, they do. We most businesses would use the UV light,
right?
And we encourage the use of the UV light because it's a quick way to check the UV features on the note. In a dark area, under a desk, or in a little drawer, you have the light and you will see the features light up once you pass the note under the light.
And Mrs. Williams, question, when we talk about counterfeiting notes, is it that we are sure or we can be definite in saying that the average Joe on the street or the person trying to counterfeit a note has no access to polymer material?
That's correct. The material for these notes produced overseas, and the production of that material is very detailed. In fact, when you come to the session, you will find out that it's actually 5 layers of paper that is used, 5 layers of substance that is used to make one polymer note. So it's a very detailed and complex process for producing these banknotes.
Okay, and why do you guys think that there's a heightened circulation of these notes during the Carnival period?
Well, Carnival is a time, because of the nature of our events, that a lot of the transactions are cash-based, because it's a lot of small value transactions. Like you said, people purchasing drinks and paraphernalia. We also have a lot of visitors to our shores, and they would have to be using our cash to pay for items. So we have so many more activities, so many more parties, shows, etc. And people are out and they're doing small value transactions. And also we have a lot of small businesses who would not have access to links machines and these type of things. So it's really a lot of cash that will be circulated.
And excellent. Do you think, Mrs. Melville, that foreigners are more susceptible to receiving those counterfeit notes, especially due to the fact that they may not be as familiar with the currency as the locals?
What we have realized during the sessions, a lot of our public, they do not know how to identify the features in the note. So whether you're Trinidadian, Tobagonian, or a foreigner visiting for Carnival, everyone needs to know the key ways to identify the features on the notes so that you can be protected.
And so outside of the sessions, outside of you guys being on the media, what other type of outreach and communication mechanisms are you guys utilizing to educate the public?
Currently, we are on social media. We have an Instagram account, we have Facebook, we are on TikTok recently. We have our information on our website. So during the year, we will continually remind persons of these security tips, the tips that we are going to demonstrate during the seminar. In addition to that, if you need a quick list, a quick check of the security features, we at the Central Bank, we have an app for that.
Okay.
The app is called the CB Noteworthy. CB Noteworthy. It's available for download. We encourage persons to download this app so that you can, at a glance, quickly check to be reminded of what the security features on the notes are.
So does the app have the capability to scan a note and say if the note is counterfeit or if it's a real note?
We don't have that feature as yet.
Okay, well, we look forward to possibly seeing something of that nature in the future. Now, again, remind our viewers, I see that you have the sessions being held today. One this morning at 10 a.m. at the Shore Park Cultural Complex, as well as 4 p.m. at the Charlottesville Library.
That's correct.
So again, you are encouraging individuals, businesses, you name it. Once you are Trinbagonian and you use cash, you should be at the session to be able to identify that. So again, before you guys, before I release you, encourage the public on why it's really important for them to participate in these sessions today, taking the opportunity.
Well, it is. Like we stressed earlier on, it is important for you to know we use money, all of us, we use banknotes. It's important for you to know how to identify the security features. It's quick, it's simple, it's easy. You look, you feel, you check, you tilt. 4 easy steps to identify your banknotes. It's important. We try to remind persons as well that forgery, counterfeiting, it is an offense. It is also an offense to hand over a counterfeit note, pass it on. So once you know how to identify, you would not have that note in your possession.
Right. And so before we go, Mrs. Williams, let's talk a little bit about that. You said it is an offense to have a counterfeit note in your possession. But me being a business person, not being aware and having maybe a couple $5, $20 notes that I would have gotten during an event, and I go to the bank with it, how can I really be at fault for receiving counterfeit notes? How does that work? Explain that to me.
So the process we have in place, we ask persons to go to a financial institution near to them, and if you suspect it's counterfeit, they can validate whether it's counterfeit or not. And then they will take it from you. They will ask you for some details about how you came upon those notes. They will record that, and they will send those notes on to the central bank.
Okay, so if one is unable to identify that any of the notes in their possession are counterfeit, and they just go and they do a deposit of $1,000, and 200 of that $1,000 are counterfeit notes, are they automatically fined for having counterfeit notes in their possession?
No.
Okay.
We simply, the financial institution will simply ask them to fill out that form about the details. But no, because we don't expect that somebody who is into counterfeiting will try to pass the notes to a financial institution themselves. So we take the information and we record it, so we have an idea, when it was received and where it was received.
Okay, and we are in 2023. These notes came out in 2021, 2022. Have we seen these particular notes being counterfeit since they've been introduced?
We have had a few instances, yes,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Excellent. Well, guys, you heard it here. So be sure to attend one of these sessions if you are able to. They're happening at Shore Park Cultural Complex this morning at 10 a.m. as well as 4 p.m. at the Charlottesville Library. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to be one of those persons who gets caught with your pants down when it comes to counterfeit currency, especially during this carnival season. So guys, you've heard it here on Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. We want to thank the Central Bank for making sure that they come on here on Tobago Updates to share the information with us, and we're always open to have the conversation, and our seats are open to you whenever it's necessary. So again, thank you guys, and we will be back right after this break.